It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com from the 1994 release. Motley Crue featuring John Corabi on lead vocal. That is Smoke the Sky. And I'm sure Tim James is probably rubbing one out right now.
Oh, I'm sure he's finished rubbing one out just hearing the song.
Exactly. So you had the opportunity to go see John Corabi last night at Ripper's. What does he call his place now?
Ripper's Rock House.
Rock House.
Yeah.
Almost has a connotation of being like a drug den or something. The Rock House.
It's actually a pretty nice place, man.
Yeah. Where is it exactly?
On Manchester in Akron.
Okay.
It's like right off of 77.
All right.
Literally, you get off the highway and it's within 100 feet.
All right. So it's not far from where he lives.
No, not at all.
Sure.
It's right in that area.
Right. What was he there?
I did not see Tim last night.
Yeah, he spends most of his time over in Europe now doing 100 different bands.
That's right. He's got Hale and all his other Dio disciples and, you know, all his different shit that he's into. So
aside from cashing those performance checks, how do you think his wife and kids like the fact that he's gone all the time?
Man, I don't know. That I don't know. I've wondered that many times myself. But you got to think that maybe he just talked the wife into, you know what, this is the only shot I got at doing it. I might as well do it until I can't.
Yeah, just shut up and cash your checks.
That's right, baby.
Well, we got to get Tim back on the show. It's been a while since he's been here.
Yeah, it has been a while for Tim, and I mean, I'm still waiting for.
Are you distracted?
A little bit. Veronica's still texting me, but no, Tim, I want to know where the Beyond Fear record is.
Yeah, it's been how many years now? 6, 7?
7, but remember last year they were in the studio.
So they were working up some tunes or something.
It's got to be recorded or mostly recorded, but you know, remember because we were going to get an exclusive to play some of it first, and you know, Tim was going to do the listening party like he did last time, and there was a whole thing going on, and now nothing. So
well, probably got derailed because he had to do something more profitable, like go out and perform live.
Yeah, there must have been gigs in Chechnya or somewhere to play.
Something like that.
He's always in some fucking weird place. He's always like in Russia or somewhere.
Oh, boy.
But no, I did not see Tim last night.
Okay. All right. Well, he did schedule John Corabi's band. It's his band, right? What is he calling it? Just John Corabi, or
it's John Corabi? It's 3 dudes. One of them has been with them for a little while, but the other 2 guitar players, I guess, are just new guys, and then it's his son playing drums.
His son?
Yeah, his son.
Okay.
He's got a drummer son that's probably 25.
Right. And what's up with his look these days? I mean, I saw some of the pictures, you know, and he's got, what is it, like silver streaks in the front of his hair or white streaks?
You know what? He reminds me a little bit of Chips Enough.
Okay. Because
like even with the pictures, everything's the peace sign or whatever, and you know, he's got that hippie vibe going.
All right.
But, you know, and it was funny because everybody that took pictures with him before me was doing the whole peace sign with them. I was like, nope, middle fingers.
And he said?
He did it. He didn't care. He's you know this. You've met him before. He's the nicest fucking guy there is.
Yeah. Well, the last time I spoke with him, he was on that Guitar Center Gibson, little Guitar Center Gibson tour or something, where he was just touring the guitar centers and playing some acoustic shows.
Right.
And he was on the show here. He came on here just to kind of promote that, and, you know, just friendly as all get out.
He is. I mean, I've interviewed him a few times. He's unbelievably friendly. And when I booked a Union show years ago, 98 or whatever, I had a real problem with Bruce Kulick.
Yeah, I remember that. I was there.
Yeah, you were there, so you heard me yelling at Bruce. You know, me and him did not see eye to eye, and Corabi was the one that just smoothed it all out. He was like, oh, dude, dude, just come on over and, I'll take care of meeting all these people and whatever they need, I'll do. He's just the nicest dude. He's a true, I like that guy. I always had, not just because I love his music, but he's just a really nice, cool guy.
Now, did you have, quote unquote backstage access, or was he just out like meeting and greeting with anybody?
He was just meeting and greeting with everybody, man. I didn't even ask for access. I probably should have, but with the labels all being on break and whatnot, there's nobody really to ask. So I just kind of, actually, I didn't even know about the show, and then Wardlaw texted me and was like, dude, I bought you a ticket. We're going to see Corabi. And I was like, fuck yeah, we're going. That's like a no-brainer to me. If it was tonight, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
There's zero chance I would have been here. I would have gone to that show because Corabi is one of those that could sing the phone book and I'd buy it. And you know how I stand with that 84 record, or the 94 record. It's one of my top 3 records of all time. So to see him playing the whole thing live, no brainer, I was going.
So did he do it in the the heavier mode, or did he do more of acoustic style, or?
No, he played them up. I mean, he played them hard. It was heavy. I mean, some of the stuff was heavier than what was on the record.
Sure.
It was if there was a disappointing aspect of the show last night, and it's very slight, but it's that he only played that record. He didn't play anything else. No Union, no solo, no nothing else. He only played. He played it in order. He played the record from start to finish in order, and that was it. And then he came back out, did an encore, and he did 10,000 Miles Away, which was the Japanese bonus track. From the record.
Well, that sounds fitting.
Oh, dude, it was. I said on Facebook, I'll say it right now. It was one of the top 3 shows I've ever seen in my life. The only 2 shows I could think of that I liked better were Pantera, my favorite show of all time, which was Pantera, Sepultura, and Biohazard in '94, and Metallica in '92, I think it was, when I was sat in the Snake Pit in Reno. Other than that, this was the best show I've ever seen.
Sure.
And not necessarily a show because, it was just a little tiny stage and it was just them playing. But, that album meant something to me, because I played it a shit ton when I was in the hospital for a year.
Right.
But it's one of my favorite records ever. And to hear it and to hear him, it was forget Corabi for a minute. It was very clear to me that his band took a lot of time to really learn the record. Because all the little stupid nuances and everything to that record were all in the songs. It was just cool, man.
So he basically played it as true to form as he could possibly do it.
Absolutely did. And, he said at the start, and, he's actually kind of fun on stage because he tells like stories that pretty much make him kind of look like a loser a little bit.
Okay.
And he was talking during some of the songs. He's like, I listened to these songs when I was getting ready to come back out on tour, and I was like, the fuck was I doing singing this high? There's no way I was going to be able to do this 20 years later.
Right.
And then he came out and did it, which was crazy. I mean, some of the songs you could tell he had to reach really deep to hit some of the notes. And there were a couple of the long high notes that he doesn't hold. But man, oh man, it was so damn close to that record. I was blown away by how close he played to the records.
Sure.
It was really amazing.
That's cool. Well, what kind of a crowd was there?
It's pretty full. I mean, it's not a big club. I don't know how many people that place holds. Maybe 300-400, maybe. I don't even know if it'd be 400, but it's smaller. I would say it's smaller than Billy's place or Billy's old place, the Foundry.
Right.
So what does the Foundry hold? 400?
No, I don't think it's that big.
300?
300.
So maybe 250?
Sure.
But it was pretty packed. I mean, the quote-unquote floor was packed all the way back up and into the chairs, and all the, you couldn't easily go get a drink or anything.
Right.
It was packed up pretty good, so it was a good crowd.
Well, I'm surprised your pal Rockin' Randy didn't make the trip down.
I was surprised I didn't see Randy either. I thought for sure I would see him, but no Randy, no anybody I knew other than Matt. But what was cool? You remember the LA Knights that we had on the show?
Yeah,
They opened. They were the middle band, I guess, and they played okay. I mean, I could have done without. They need somebody to write choruses for them, because they write some seriously repetitive choruses. I mean, every song was like the same line over and over and over again, and the chorus was like, all right, find something that rhymes with that or something.
Sure.
But I mean, they played a really energetic set, and they had the crowd and into it. And I don't know, man. You've seen shows in Akron. Have you ever noticed how there is a distinct Akron crowd? That's like really into 80s metal.
Yeah, well, it's the 1984 Camaro drive-in, the mullet wearing, blue collar, smokes a lot of cigarettes,
right?
That kind of people.
It really is, but it's just funny because Matt must have said that to me 10 times last night. He's like, if this was in Cleveland, they would hate LA Knights, but it's not, so they loved them.
Right. Well, it is sort of a social structure there.
Yeah.
Kind of the time that or the land that time forgot.
Right. It really is, man. But LA Knights did well, man. I'll tell you who didn't do well. The opening band. First of all, it's two kids, and they're young. They couldn't have been more than 23, 24 years old. They're sitting on stools with acoustic guitars. They come out and they immediately say, we don't even have a name. So if you heard that, what do you think?
The Rembrandts?
Pretty much. That's what Matt said.
I would walk 10,000 miles.
Yeah, dude, they played covers. But literally, if they jumped into my head and said, okay, which songs will he hate? That's the covers they played. They played a Nelson cover. They played a Firehouse cover. They played Bitter Pill from Warrant. Of all the Warrant tunes you could cover, they covered Bitter Pill.
So these are early 20-something kids basically playing music that was out before they were born.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they did it okay, I guess.
Because if they were the age that you say,
yeah,
they were born in 1990 or 1991 when that music was over.
Right? Yeah, they're playing shit that they heard in their parents' house. That's the only thing I could come up with. But but just the song selection was so bad. Love and Affection by Nelson. In what world is that ever acceptable as a cover? And even. I'm a Y&T fan, right?
Right.
They couldn't have done worse if they tried. They fucking zeroed in on the only Y&T song I don't like.
Summertime Girls.
Summertime Girls.
Of course.
I was like, come on, man. And Bitter Pill? Of all if you were going to do a Warrant cover, would that be like 25th on the list?
That certainly wouldn't make the list.
I mean, that's way below, especially where you're doing acoustic shit. Play Sometimes She Cries, play Heaven. Something. Uncle Tom's Cabin, Cherry Pie, 32 Pennies, anything.
Right.
I was just like, these guys. And they were long. They must have played 10 songs. I mean, it was like 40 minutes of this shit. We were just standing there like, holy fuck. Finally, we just found us a table and sat down.
Were they related to somebody?
I don't know if they were friends with the guy that runs the club, Micah, or something, because they thanked Micah a few times.
Okay, so they probably are family friends.
Yeah, it had to be, but I was just like, oh, my goodness. Time to go.
Well, that's why they got the opening slot, is because, again, it's just like, we dabble around with guitar.
If I'd have known, I'd have shown up about an hour later.
Right.
Because I'd have skipped them completely. I wanted to see LA Knights because, our friend Josie's in the band, but yeah, I could have done without the band without a name. That's kind of lame.
Sure.
Just make up a name, right?
Right.
Even if you don't have a name, just come out and say, yeah, we're the Dawsons.
Yeah, Well, they should have just called themselves the band with no name.
Yeah. Anything would have been better than saying we don't even have a name yet. Because that just sounds like, then why do I care?
Yeah.
You know? So,
well, that's how that band Better Than Ezra got their name.
Why were they just competing with some band named Ezra?
Yeah, the band before them was called Ezra.
Oh, nice.
And they didn't have a band name, and so when the promoter or the MC came out and asked them who they were and what the name was, they said, well, we're Better Than Ezra.
Right.
And that's how they got their name.
It's funny.
So they didn't even have a band name.
That is funny. So I got to tell this one story, dude. Nathan reminded me of it.
All right.
And you might have seen the posting in the picture. So there's this guy comes up. And first of all, this was a people watching fest if ever there was one.
Sure.
It was just a bunch of, I don't know. I don't want to say douchebags, but there was some fairly douchey people at this club.
These are people who don't get out of the house a lot.
No. Dude, there's one. I should put the picture up. Maybe I'll put it up on the CMS Facebook. There's a guy. He's got on, got to be a $400 or $500 leather jacket. I mean, it's a nice leather jacket, like real leather, like a biker leather jacket.
All right.
Except that it has sewn on to the front and back bones.
The word bones? Or
no, like bones, like a skeleton. So it looked like, so he was trying to make his leather coat look like it was a skeleton coat.
Okay.
It was. Let me put it up.
Well, was it like what Axl Rose used to wear?
No, dude. This was. You ever seen those T-shirts where the people wear at Halloween? With
yeah. It looks like a skeleton.
It looked like that, except it was a leather coat.
Yeah. Well, Axl Rose used to have a leather jacket that I think it was airbrushed though.
No, this was actual pieces sewn on.
Actual like plastic or bone material.
No, actual leather on top of the coat, like they cut these bones.
So they basically cut out like ribs out of strips
out of some white leather,
like strips of leather.
Yeah, and sewed them onto the jacket.
Okay,
I'm putting it up right now. I can figure out how. It's on my phone. How do I? I'm gonna put it up here, and you can take a look here.
So he was wearing a Bones jacket.
Yeah. There we go. I'm just going to call it Bones, Bones, post. All right, go to the CMS Facebook.
All right, let me go take a look
at this fucking jacket.
All right.
You can see Wardlaw standing behind him just laughing at him. Is it there yet?
I got to get to the page.
It's facebook.com.
I know.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying for the fans.
Oh.
If the fans want to take a look at the Bone jacket. Yeesh. Fucking terrible.
All right.
Yeah, it's there.
All right. On the CMS Facebook.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
And it was dude, standing up next to him, it was an expensive coat.
Yeah.
This was not a fucking $75 fake leather coat.
Is that Matt behind him?
Yeah.
Is he going gray?
Gray and bald and everything else.
Dude, how old is he?
He's younger than me.
I know. That's what I'm thinking. What's up with the gray hair?
I don't know, man. He works a stressful gig, I guess.
Holy shit. I just saw him at your book release party a year ago.
Dude, and believe me, it makes him crazy that I just decided to grow my hair and now it's past my shoulder.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, Matt is follically deficient.
Well, it's not so much that. It's just I'm surprised at how gray he is.
That might be a little bit of lighting. He's not gray, but
yeah, but still.
Yeah. Look at Nostra Nas in the chat room. Jeez.
Yeah.
That coat was something, man.
Yeah, that is awful.
It's a terrible coat. Let me put one more picture up in there, and then we'll talk about it. Let me post this one more picture, because I really smashed this guy, and I got a lot of flack for it, but I didn't care.
Who'd you get a lot of flack from?
My one friend Randy, who's a promoter and might have been the promoter of the show for all I know.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm putting it up now. There's no title on it. I just posted it. So the new trend in guys that wish it was 1987.
Okay.
Is showing up to gigs or shows in a T-shirt and a scarf.
A scarf?
A scarf.
Okay.
And I just posted one of those up there.
Yeah, I see it. Who's the guy next to him?
I don't know. Some guy.
Looks like Tim James.
This guy shows up with a scarf on. And I immediately took a picture and I posted something about if you wear a T-shirt and a scarf, you obviously know the taste of cock.
Okay.
And, of course, then I got some shit for that.
All right.
Because I tagged the club and everything else.
Oh, okay.
So I got a little bit of shit for that. And people were like, just, some of the people were just like, oh, you're so brutal. And a lot of people were laughing, but people were like, oh, that's so brutal, so brutal. And I was like, I just watched this guy. 2 seconds later, I kid you not, he's over hugging and kissing on some other dude.
Really?
Oh, it was disgusting. Just, these singing the songs to each other. Corabi singing Love Shine, and they're singing to each other and stuff. I was like, ugh. I don't think that's what it was meant for. By the way, if you look at that picture, if you look in front of him, you can see the full back of the skull coat or the bones coat.
Okay, the bones coat. Yeah, I see it. I see it.
That is horrid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to see some gay love last night in this horrid coat. But it didn't ruin the night because the musically it just kicked fucking ass, dude. It was so good. And then Corabi at the end of the night, at the end of the set, he's like, you know what? Give me a couple minutes. I'm gonna go change my shirt, and then I'll be right back out, and I'll hang out with you guys and do whatever. So, most of the room cleared out, but about 30 or so people stuck around. And sure as shit, he came right out and just hung out, took pictures, talked. Anybody want to talk to him? He's just standing around. He's like, hey, what's up?
Sure.
It's totally cool, man. He's the real deal, man.
Yeah.
Had a great time. But honestly, one of the best. He's only playing like 6 or 7 shows or something.
Right.
Doing this. If you're anywhere near it, you got to go see it.
Nice.
If you like that record at all, you got to go see it because you're never going to get the chance again.
Yeah.
He even said on the stage at one point, he said that, that he's doing these gigs and people need to say that, be on Facebook and promoting that they were at these gigs or else he can't do any more of them.
Yeah. Well,
so it's
what do you think a John Corabi band commands for a club show like that?
I got to think at least $5,000 because he was rolling in a tour bus.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he's rolling in a really nice tour bus too. So
that's $1,000 a day.
Yeah, that's plus 5 guys in the band. Plus he had two crew guys with him, so 7 guys. I got to think $5,000 a day, don't you think?
Well, I know 1,000 right off the top goes to just operating that bus.
Right. That's what I mean. So that's 4,000 between 7. He's taking the most of it.
Well,
he's taking $2,000 of that.
Sure.
That's $2,000 between 6 guys. 400 a night. Wow. Is that right? 300 a night.
Wow.
So who knows?
Interesting.
He might be losing money on the tour too. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, at least he was in there when Motley. He was a member of Motley when Motley signed that big deal. So maybe he has money.
Yeah, but again, this goes back to your whole pinball thing.
Yeah.
If you got to come out of pocket to do it, why do it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree. But just because I agree doesn't mean that he agrees.
Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense to go out and come out of pocket to go do some shows.
No, I completely agree unless he just wants to. Which he did say. That was something else he said on the stage too, is that I found it weird. I wanted to ask him and I forgot. But he said he'd waited 20 years to play these shows or these songs. And I was like, why? And I just get up there and do them, at the 10-year mark. Yeah, am I wrong in thinking that he just dropped out for a while and was just, sort of playing rhythm guitar and nothing else with Rat?
Well, I think that was just a paying gig for him.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he wasn't singing at all.
No. It was just paying the bills.
Right. Well, I guess what I'm saying is that after Motley, he really dropped out for 15 years.
Well, not really, because after Motley, he did the Union thing.
Union, yeah. But after Union, I guess. After 2000.
But that's when he joined Rat.
Right.
So right after Union, he joined Rat, and
right.
He was in Rat all the way up to the point to where he quit in 2009?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Something like that. And then he went out to do that Gibson thing. And then he's been kind of touring solo.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that he didn't do any singing projects in there in between Rat things. That's all. I mean, there's a lot of people that like that guy's voice. Is there a million people? Probably not. But, there's a lot of people that look at that Motley 94 record and claim that one is the best.
Sure.
I'm not alone in that.
Right.
So, it's just surprising to me that he's done so little, as far as vocal projects.
True.
Whatever. He's got one out now that I love, his Unplugged record. He seems like he's active again, so maybe he'll get together and do an actual record. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to pull a Rev here.
Right?
Interesting. Well, sounds like he's doing something pretty cool, but